So like I said, I've only got 4 or 5 questions for you. But again, it's okay that I share this with the company and with future investors, correct?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. You got that check?
I do.
Point it out, man.
There it
Beautiful.
is.
Making money. All right.
Yes.
All right. So, couple basic questions. Did you use any of your money in this? I mean, did you have to get a loan for it or anything?
No, nothing like that at all.
Isn't that great?
That's absolutely great. It's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
it's hard to believe it's real, but it is.
Yeah, making money finally, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, um, did you, the question I get asked often, and I'm sure you were thinking the same thing when you first got started, is why didn't they use an agent? Why didn't your seller use an agent?
You mean like a realtor?
Yeah.
Um, some of them had that I've talked to. They just either didn't like the agent, or they just didn't. The realtor just didn't produce the results they were expecting. I think a lot of it has to do with time. I think they were just time was of the essence, and they needed to sell fast. And so they went to look at other avenues of possibilities, and that's where we step in. As wholesalers, we go in and we can move their house, relatively a lot faster than a realtor could, and we put cash in their pockets. So it's a win-win.
Right. Right. And did you have any objections with the seller or the buyer? I mean, it went pretty smooth, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean everything went smooth on this one. Like I said, they asked some questions about the option to purchase, but like after they realized that it's good, they were willing to go through with it, and it went through super smooth. So no problems.
So last question for me today, that I really want to ask is with the training and the leads, which we talked about this when we talked before, but now that you've been through a closing with the training and the leads that you've been provided, can anybody do this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anybody can do it as long as they're willing to put in some work. I mean, it's not one of those deals where you sit back and you run a program and hope something works out. I mean, you're gonna have to do some work.
Right.
If you're motivated, anybody can do this. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but believe me, and I thought that was going to be an issue with this. I thought you're gonna have to learn all kinds of material before I get involved in this. But I mean, it's really a turnkey program. I mean, you guys provide everything you need to learn on a step-by-step, approach where you're not just overwhelmed with information all at once. And if you can follow directions, you can do this. You can sell real estate. You can buy, sell, and you can wholesale. So I mean, I mean, you guys did a good job with the presentation of your information. I mean, anybody could do this if they're willing to put in the work, if they're motivated.
That's the important part.
Yeah,
Getting out there and doing it.
yeah, absolutely. And my biggest fear with this was just talking to people. I don't, I've been told I was an introvert, and I don't really like talking much to people. But even when you're an introvert, I mean, if you can just go out and you just talk to people like you're talking to to a friend, or just learn how to strike up a conversation. And then if you can do that, well, then you can make this work.
Right. Right. Well, dude, I'm super, super happy for you. Super pumped. I'm sure your itch is worse than ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to do it more, as you well know, you send more letters, make more phone calls, do the system over and over. Now that you've got it, quote unquote, figured out, which you'll be adjusting all the time according to the market and the things in there. But now all you just have to do is repeat.
Yeah, rinse and repeat.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
And
right.
follow up. follow up is a really big deal on. I think you emphasize that a lot in your training material. And these first deals, these first two houses that I got under contract was a result of a follow up. You know, they initially wanted a little too much than I was willing to put under contract for, but then I called back. I think it was 21 days later, and you know they dropped their price considerably, and I was able to get the property under contract. And here I am, you know, with two. You know, I've got two checks from it, so it's you know, follow up is a big deal, and just and don't, you know, don't burn the leads. You know, follow up whenever you get a chance. If they don't bite the first time, just get back with them and follow up.
So if you were going to tell somebody that was just coming in to doing their first closing, what would you say?
Well, if they were just coming in to doing their first closing,
Yeah.
Just basically do what you've been doing. Just like you said, just rinse and repeat. You know, just focus more in on the you know, the details, and just focus in on what works, and you know, cast aside what doesn't, and you know, maximize your time, and just follow up, and just get out there and just do it.
Yeah. So when you were going into the closing, were you a little bit concerned or overwhelmed or not quite sure how it was going to go, and then get into it and it went pretty smooth, didn't it?
Yeah, it's just like anything. You don't know what to expect, so you kind of go into it and you're apprehensive and you're nervous, but it was nothing to be nervous about. It was just, you know, just go in and basically. I was there whenever the seller was there, because I wanted to greet them and, you know, thank them, and you know, make it personal for them. But afterwards, you know, I mean, they just give you a check, and you're good. You know.
Cool. Well, Chad, go deposit the checks, man.
Will do, man. Will do.
Congrats. I appreciate this. If you need anything, let us know, okay?
Okay, thank you, Nick.
You betcha. Talk soon.
All right.